Hi, my name's Tim. I'm going to give you your show and tell. We'll start out with the two batteries on the front of the trailer. Two batteries hooked side by side, hot to hot, ground to ground. Two 20-pound propane cylinders that are full, less what they use to service the trailer. The arrow on the regulators pointed towards that bottle over there. It's green on the inside. As soon as that bottle would happen to come up empty, it's going to turn red inside the eye where it's green, indicating that the bottle it's pointed to is empty. Then all you have to do is swap it over to this side over here, work off this one while you take that one to town and have it refilled. We're going to go right back to that one again. It does have a light for hooking up at nighttime on the front jack. It does have an up and down button and a manual way to crank it. If for any reason it won't go up or down on its own, you can come through the top, hooks onto that little bolt down in there, and we'll manually crank it up or down. On your bottle cover, it has the two tabs underneath for a bungee cord to hold it in place, and then you have your quick disconnect at the top so you don't have to take the cover off every time. Also has a 7-way holder on the front that will hold the 7-way up off the ground and keep your chains up off the ground. We'll start down this side over here, the first compartment. It does have a battery disconnect at the top. So when you're not using the trailer, you can turn the battery disconnect off and pull the key out. Right down below that is solar prep, digital readout. And it shows you that it is putting out 13.2 volts to the batteries from the sun. It does have the 4 balance jacks on all 4 corners. 3/4 inch nut on the end of those. Your first dump section up here in the front will dump your kitchen sink water. 2-inch valve. And then your freshwater drain is right down below that. And the line with nothing off the end is for letting the air out of the tank while you're filling it. The lug nuts on the trailer has been torqued at 100 foot-pounds. Tires are at pressure, which is 65 pounds on the side of the tire cold. The next one back is your connection for your 110 power. On that, you have a little blue light indicating that it has power coming through the cord. You have an outside shower that gives you hot and cold running water on this side of the trailer. Your water fill section is the next one back. And your very top one is your black tank flush. The one to the left is your city water connect. And then the one on the right hand side is your freshwater fill. 2 valves in the back here. One's going to be for your bathroom sink and shower. The other 3-inch valve is going to be for your toilet water only. Also says it has flow water drain points up underneath the fender skirt. Right up in about here.
What is it?
As we step around to the back of the trailer, it is prepped for a backup camera up top. It has a park cable hookup and a satellite hookup on the left-hand side. It does have a spare tire on the back of the unit that's been put on with a wrench, but it is aired up to pressure. The next one back is the outside of the furnace. Sucks cold air in the bottom, hot air out the top. I would suggest putting a mud dauber screen over that for the simple fact that the mud dauber screen is less than 20 bucks. It is $125 an hour for every hour that somebody has to take the furnace out and clean the mud daubers out of it. Outside of the hot water heater is next. It is gas and electric. The electric switch is in the lower left-hand corner on the outside. The gas switch will be on your monitor panel on the inside. You'll want to pop the pop-off valve to make sure you have water coming out of it instead of air. to ensure that it's full before you turn on electric or gas. Also has a drain plug down the bottom. It is an anode rod. The anode rod draws all the water minerals out of the water to it, eats up the rod instead of eating up the inside of the tank. But that is also where you'll drain the hot water heater. As we step along this side over here, the first connection is the stove vent. For the stove vent to work properly, the two tabs have to be lifted out, allows the flapper to flap. But when you travel down the road, you'll need to push those back into the hole to make sure that it is secured. The next one is the vent for the kitchen sink. You do have two outside speakers. There is a place for a TV that is mounted in the living room to come out, slides down in this bracket, hooks to the 110 outlet, and works off the park cable or antenna on top of the trailer. The next one down is the doggy latch for latching your dog underneath the canopy. And this is just the other side of the compartment. But this is the side that has your handle that does your 4 balance jacks on the corners. It does have a push button light in the front and a light switch. The light switch turns your set of LED lights on the front of the trailer on. Now we're going to have the trailer on site, level from side to side, front to back. The next thing is the proper fit of the steps. So we're going to open the door all the way up. Grab a hold of the blue handle on the steps, pull it out, allows the steps to come out. Push button underneath each one of the legs. There's 15 holes in the bottoms of the legs that you can adjust. The main thing is it has to fit flush in the threshold. So we're going to pull the steps out. We're going to let it go all the way down till it touches there. And to achieve that, we're going to push the buttons up underneath the legs and adjust the legs accordingly. Then we're going to go in the trailer. Fire extinguisher on the right hand side as we step in. Monitor panel up at the top. Freshwater tank is showing that it has 1/3 of a tank left in it. Battery life shows you fully charged, but to get a real accurate reading of the battery, you need to have the 110 line unplugged and then push the battery button. Black tank showing empty. Gray tank 1 will be your bathroom, shower, and sink water. Gray tank 2 is your kitchen sink water only. Does not have the third auxiliary tank on the trailer. First red button on the left hand side is for the water pump. The second button on the middle is for the hot water heater. When you turn the hot water heater on, the little door side ignition switch comes on. It'll stay on for about a minute. It goes off. Then the hot water heater will go through 2 lighting processes to light on gas. For any reason it does not light on gas, it'll come right back on. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. And then you have a set of tank heaters underneath the holding tanks on the trailer. When the red button is on, they are on. They are weather sensitive. They have to be a certain temperature before they come on. Your next switch is your LED lights underneath your awning. The very last switch is the center roll of lights in the living quarters. So we're going to go ahead and run that awning out. It's good to make sure that there's not a tree on this side. Once the awning is fully extended, the skirt hangs down. On each one of the arms, there is a pinch point that you can pull down against that puts the pitch of the rain coming off this corner here. Same way with your front arm, you can do the same thing up there, putting the pitch of the rain coming off the front arm. Before the awning goes back up, both arms have to be pushed back up straight in line with each other before you roll it up. Awning lights also have lights in your speakers. We're going to come back into the trailer and we're going to run the slide out switch, run it in the out position. On the microwave, it does have a clock button. Let's say it's 10:30. Hit the clock button again till the 2 center eyes is flashing. The only reason I set the time on the microwave is I can tell if the trailer's lost 110 power coming to it if it doesn't keep the right time. Does have a light for the stove top and a fan. For the fan to work properly, the 2 tabs on the outside vent have to be opened up, allows the flapper to flap back and forth. Glass stove top will fold up 2 times, up out of the way. Button on the far right hand side turns the lights on, the knobs. When you turn it to light, the knobs will turn red, but it will light all 3 burners up on top. And we'll also light the oven down below. You'll turn it to the pilot on position, hold down on the button, using the same striker that you light the top with. Let the pilot burn for just about a minute. Then you can dial your temperature up. Thermocoupler warms up and the oven lights. If you flip that same button that turns the lights on, it will also give you a light in the oven. Pretty good sized drawer down below it for pots and pans. The light above the sink has to be turned on by hand. Has a little push button in the center of it. If you look at the knob on the faucet, to the left is the hot side of it, to the right is the cold side of it. To get water out, you have to pull back on the handles. Stereo, AM, FM, CD, and DVD player. We'll turn it on. It has A and B on the speakers. We'll turn the A off. B speakers are outside.
Diamonds and More Jewelers. You can take your precious jewelry to Diamonds and More Jewelers today, and chances are you will be.
But it will also play a DVD between the stereo and the TV. The little remote is for the stereo. The bigger remote is for the TV.
Worries to call us.
Are you currently on Medicare? Or
Channel 4 is 80 miles away from here. That's not a bad picture. Working off the antenna on top of the trailer and the power booster for the TV.
Kevin and Ray putting the full forces in.
2 sets of keys for the trailer. Purple key does the front door lock and deadbolt. The black key does the outside slam compartments. And then your other 751 key does your outside shower. All the rest of the paperwork that was found in the trailer will be in the brown bag. It has a 110 outlet and a USB port on either side of the bed of the headboard. Pretty good closet space on either side of the bed. The two lights above the headboard have to be turned on by hand, have little push buttons in the center of those. Pretty good sized storage up above. Extra pillows and blankets. Does have storage underneath it. That is also where your table and the table leg are stored at. Table leg comes off and goes to the bottom wedge on the recliners, and then the table sits on the pedestal above it. The two lights above the chairs have to be turned on by hand. Little push button in the center. Center console has a USB port in it. Does have a fire escape window behind the recliners. Another 110 outlet beside the recliners. Also has a carbon monoxide LP detector. Thermostat for the air conditioner and furnace. You hit the mode button down to bottom. First thing it gives you is your fan speed on low, fan speed on high, cool, cool low, cool auto, and cool high. Hit the mode button one more time, it brings you down to the heat. Hit the mode button one more time, it brings you to the off position on the right hand side. Does have a GFI in the bathroom. A little light switch on the wall that turns the light above us on. Knurled knob in the vent in the top cranks the vent up. Little black button turns the fan on. Does have a single foot flush on the toilet. Push all the way down, fills and dumps. 2-drawer medicine cabinet. Little storage underneath the bathroom sink. The cabinet down below, it has 2 screws in it that accesses you into the back of the water pump. Water pump already has the bypass valve on it. Showers just like you'd have at home. Hot water on the left side, cold water on the right. 12-volt refrigerator. It does have 2 settings in it. One up here at the top says colder. When you want the freezer to get quick cool down, you turn it to where it says colder. But if you want cold air coming down in the bottom, you have to turn it back to where it says cold. It does have the push buttons down in the bottom for the refrigerator. A setting of 1 to 5. And then it is also the on and off button. Does have a travel lock on the refrigerator. Slides over, holds the door in place. On the furnace, when it lights, it has a glass eye right in through here that you can actually look into and see the blue flames burning on the inside. Breaker box is marked with your 30 amp main being the top one as they come down. Microwave, GFI, AC, hot water heater. General purpose is the 110 outlets and converter. Fuses on this side over here start out with a refrigerator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are lights. Furnace, radio, pump, and LP detector. And they give you one spot at the bottom that's empty. on the car fuses on the right hand side. When the fuse is blowed, it will have a red light on it that you can also see through the tinted window. One more thing to show you is the back of the hot water heater. Panel lid lifts up. Hot water heater has 2 valves on the back of it. Both valves are pointed towards the hot water heater itself in the normal operating position. When you get ready to winterize, they turn sideways. That makes a loop at the back of the hot water heater. That's it for your trailer. If you have any questions, I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability. Thank you.